Early in 2004, an opportunity presented itself that would forever change the direction of one man's life and culture for the entire community. Collin, the COE, chief of everything, at New Scooters for Less, would sit at a bus stop all day trying to catch an RTS bus to campus. The bus would continuously pass him by with the words, "full bus," displayed across the top. Well, this led to the creation of New Scooters for Less in March 2004. 14 years later, wow. Now he's a sole owner. New Scooters for Less, NS4L, is one of the largest scooter dealerships in the U.S. and continues to break its own records and the sales records for some of the top scooter distributors in the country. NS4L has provided jobs to tons of amazing people, reached millions of dollars in revenue, sold thousands of scooters, and has serviced thousands more. NS4L is well known within the, you'll remember this, NS4L is well known within the business community for its unique, eccentric, and innovative culture developed around a single core value. Create and recreate the ultimate customer experience, or UCE. Please join me in welcoming the COE of New Scooters for Less, Collin.
Hello, everybody. This is on, right? I like to be loud, so I apologize in advance. Does anybody know what these initials stand for? Raise your hand if you don't, because it's going to make this really confusing for you. All right. So, my whole presentation is based around this, okay? But before I do that, I'm going to give you a little bit more about my history, all right? So, my name is Collin. I'm the COE, the chief of everything at New Scooters for Less. Now, last time I was here, I said, hey, has anybody ever been stuck behind a scooter? And like everybody raised their hand, right? So now that whole thing has turned into people texting me, right? A picture of them stuck behind the scooter, and I just get texts of the back of scooters all day long. And I simply reply back with my favorite emoji, which is this guy right here with the heart eyes, okay? Now, how the heck did all of this madness start? And I'm gonna give you a quick history of our business. All right? It started with this apartment complex. This is University Terrace West. This is my room right here. This is my roommate's room. Okay? That roommate became my girlfriend, who became my future wife. All right? And this is her right here. This is Shannon. Now, I know some people in here know Shannon. She would be really embarrassed if I told this story, so no telling Shannon when we get home. Bryn's my neighbor, so when I say we get home, like, that's what I mean by that. Like, she literally lives across the street from me. Okay, so now we have kids. These are our kids. This is Schaefer. He's my oldest, obviously. Maddox, my youngest. Now, the interesting thing about this whole kid thing is that Schaefer here, was born on August 24th, 2009. Does anybody want to guess what August 24th, 2009 was? You guys all heard this story before. It was the first day of school, right? And I'm like, my team could not believe, you guys, for a scooter dealership, the first day of school is the busiest day of the year. My team is like, I can't believe you're gonna go to the hospital, really? I'm like, yes, it's a baby. Like, of course I am. So, and then I told my team, I'm like, I swear I'll plan better. It won't happen again. We'll do better. So exactly 4 years later, August 24th, 2013, baby Maddox was born. And so that's my family story. And again, yes, it was right in the middle of back to school time. It was a little bit chaotic. So, but going back to like how New Scooters for Less started, it all started with this spot right here. This was the bus stop, right? I would wait for this bus that started at the Oaks Mall to come all the way down 62nd, all the way down 20th Avenue. It'd pick up all these lovely people. And then by the time it got to me, it said full bus across the top, just like that. This is my awesome Photoshop skills right here. All right, this is me frustrated that the bus was full. All right. So not only that, though, they have this thing. Has anybody done Career Showcase at the University of Florida? All right. It's basically hell, okay? Like, I don't know any other way to put it. Like, I stole this photo, and I'll say an entrepreneur's hell, because this is me somewhere in here saying, what the fudge? This is, I'm here, like, going through this. And basically, you go around from recruiter to recruiter, like this. This isn't really me, but it's fake me for this presentation. And you go around, and you go up to somebody, and they're the recruiter, and you're like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I am never going to work for you. That's like all that was going through my mind, was that I was never going to work for that person. So, of course, all these things accumulated to, hey, I have an idea, right? I'm going to start a scooter business, because the scooter business will help college kids get to and from class at their convenience without having to wait for the bus, without having to deal with parking, and it will be great for picking up chicks. Now, I wanted to help other people pick up chicks because I was already in a relationship at the time. So you can see, and she was really excited about it. Like she would be pissed if she knew this was up there. But now, we have done this to the University of Florida. There are lines and lines and lines and lines and lines and lines of scooters. All right? And lines of scooters. And today, so we have impacted the entire culture, the culture of an entire town, entire university. And we are one of the top dealerships in the country, and I'm really excited about that. Really excited for my team and all the hard work that they've put into it. So we're very often asked, like, how did you do it? And how do you continue to do it? And that's really what my presentation is based around today. But really, it all came down to, in the end, is about making scooters cool. I can't tell you guys how many times in the early days I would have this son come in with his mom. Mom would be like, son, like, let me buy this for you. This will help you get around Gainesville. This will help you get to and from school. It'll save you a ton of time. And the son would be like, oh, no, Mom, hell no. Like, I ain't going to be caught dead on that. And I would just be like, dude, shut up and let your mom buy you a scooter. I couldn't believe it. And I knew that we had to really change the perception of what scooters were, get it from being dorky to being something that was really cool. We started by really focusing on our dealership, right? This is my office, actually, our office. There's a whole bunch of us that share it. But we have really cool paint, the bean bags. This is our showroom. Right? It's all about the customer's experience coming in, bean bags. We have a chalkboard wall right here. It's our guest board. Everybody can sign it. This is our service department, and really clean, really cool. We have these mats over here. I'll show you a picture later, but we like to pull scooters on those mats and have, take these giant pictures with customers. But I just knew that we had to change the perception of what customers were seeing. Now, this is what's happened, okay? Now it's all right in Gainesville to do nut to butt on a scooter. All right? That's what they call it. I'm sorry. I told you guys I was gonna push the line just a little bit. But this is like, you can do this in Gainesville. You can ride with your bro, and no one's gonna judge you. Like, we've accomplished that. It is now cool to have a scooter and get around like that. Okay? So, it all comes down to what we've established as our number one core value. That's what we call the UCE, core value number one, create and recreate the ultimate customer experience. It is at the forefront of everything that we do. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can execute that in your businesses. Where to start? Ask yourself, how am I going to make people think, what the, like the good kind though, like what's going on? Now another word for this, my phone's ringing. Another word for this, and actually Lee came up with this. Lee was like, Collin, we need to create WHOADAMN experiences. I'm like, Lee, what's a WHOADAMN experience? He goes, when somebody walks in your store and they go, whoa, damn. Say it with me. Whoa. Damn. Right? And so I'm going to give you my 4 major keys to making people say, whoa, damn. All right, you guys know who this is, right? Major key alert. Okay. It's a different generation thing. It's okay. If you don't know, it's all right. No problem. It's like Snapchat king. Like, I'm all into Snapchat. So let me start with this. The basics matter, guys, okay? I could spend a whole presentation on just these things, but the perception of your company from the outside is so important. I think a lot of people miss this, and this is the very basic stuff, right? The customer's experience happens before they come to your dealership. They go on Google, they see pictures, they see your reviews. You know, we have 5 stars or 4.8 stars at 307 reviews. That stuff is important. Like, reputation is important. Your responses to negative reviews are extremely important. If you take the wrong WTF and somebody leaves you a bad review, you're like, what the? No, dude, let me tell you how it really went down. You get all defensive and you start fighting back. Like, that is not good. You have to put the perception of what other people will see, what other people will read when you make a response to a bad review. Again, social media, when people look at your social media accounts, phone calls, and of course, word of mouth. These things are very basic. Like I said, I could do an entire presentation on just that, but for this presentation, I won't. Number 2, look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. Okay, let me tell you what I mean by that. Anytime somebody comes up to me and they say, hey, Collin, I'm thinking about starting this company, you know, what kinds of research should I do? And I'm like, well, go seek out the other businesses, go see what everybody else is doing. The problem is that everybody thinks that that's what they should do, right? I tell people, go look at what everybody else is doing and go and do the opposite. Go find something that makes you extremely unique. An example would be punch cards, right? Loyalty programs. I have so many of these things in my wallet. You know, I go coffee, you know, buy 9, get the 10th free, right? Like, it's common. It's what we see in today's world. Well, I basically decided to take this concept. I mean, I want customer loyalty too, and I wanted to take this concept and do something completely different. So what I ended up doing was making a prize center in my dealership. This is what it looks like. Okay, when people walk into the service department, they go, whoa, damn. Like, they're not sure whether they walked into an arcade or a service dealership. And that's exactly what I want. And the way it works is you come in, this is our service counter, you come in and you spend money on service. And when you spend money on service, we hand you like tickets. You spend a lot of money on service, we hand you a lot of tickets, as if it's spitting out of an arcade machine. Okay, then you can take those tickets, they look like this. All right, you can take those tickets and you can either turn them in right then and there and get a piece of bubble gum for 1 ticket, or you can save them, come back, compile them, and get one of these really big items. I mean, we got teddy bears, we got Nintendo systems, we got Nerf guns, we have remote control cars. We have so much. Now, I think we gave you guys a little something in your swag bag that was either from the wall and I know I gave everybody one of these tickets because I want you to go to my dealership and experience it for yourself. Yeah, so there might be a little prize, like a 1-ticket prize in your bag there. And I'm gonna go over the swag bags in a second too. But you have this ticket, so you can go to my service department and get something. It's my little free gift to you, so you can actually see it for yourself, okay? This is another picture of it right here. And what you're going through right now is a swag bag, right? So this is something that we like to do during back to school season. We will fill this with swag. Sometimes there's t-shirts, sometimes there's gift cards, pins, keychains, all sorts of stuff, because when the customer leaves, we want them to leave with more than just their scooter. We want them to leave with a bunch of extra swag from us and from our business friends too. So if it comes to that time, you guys want to put stuff in it, just let us know. Bryn has graciously contributed, and so has Boris before, Chris. And this is one of the pictures that we take. I chose this picture specifically because Mike's eyes were closed, and I knew that he would watch this presentation back, and I want him to know that I just called him out in the picture. But this is what we do. We'll pull the picture inside. We have a big bell in the back. We'll ring the bell. ding, 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 get everybody out. All the team comes running. We get around the scooter like this, and then we just take a picture with the customer. It just makes for an amazing experience for our customer. This is another thing that we like to do, the balloons. That's why I have balloons. This is where this is what it has evolved into, is emojis. I really, really like emojis, guys. I don't know if you can tell. But originally, we would have these balloons. We would tie them to people's scooters. We would sign them. We'd say, thank you very much for coming to our dealership. We'd have all the team sign it. And if it was being delivered, like all of these were being delivered, we would tuck it down inside the seat of the scooter. And then when the customer got their scooter, or when they received it, when it was delivered to them, they would open up their seat bucket for the first time. The balloon would pop out. It'd be signed by us and say, thank you for buying your scooter from us. So just a little cool thing that we did back in the day. And now we like put emoji balloons on it because the emojis are cooler. All right. Point number 3, always, always, always take it up a notch. Okay. This goes back to the 212-degree principle. And I like this principle a lot because essentially it's at 211 degrees, you have very hot water. At 212 degrees, you have boiling water. Boiling water creates steam, and steam can power a locomotive. It's 1 degree difference. Okay, I'm constantly challenging businesses to find that 1 degree. Just push yourself a little bit more. Whatever you can do to just amp it up just a little bit. This is something that we do to amp it up just a little bit. This is Valentine's Day. We load up our helium tank, we load up Valentine's balloons, we go to campus and we put these balloons on every single New Scooters for Less scooter that's on campus. We tie a little bag of candy and a little Valentine, and when you look at campus and you see balloons all over the place like this, it looks really, really awesome. This is a video from last week. I thought I would share it with you guys, just kind of give you a little perspective into how that went down. Hopefully this works. I don't know if I have sound though. I might not have sound. Oh no. I don't have sound, so that probably won't work at all. But it kind of gives you just a little idea. These guys hustle all through the parking areas on campus and just tie Valentine's balloons on everything. So we won't watch the whole thing. It's a lot cooler with sound, but this is what ends up happening, and this is like a cool side effect of it. I get snaps from friends. Actually, this came from Rachel. Rachel, wave your hand. She was on campus that day, and she said, NS4L is all the chatter on campus, totally making people's day, brilliant. And then this was actually a customer who had tagged us, and so I had seen her post. She said, felt like I was playing real life Mario Kart, scooting with this. It was a balloon. NS4L making me feel the love. Yes, candy was attached. My favorite part is like she posted this and there's a scooter with love and then there's the competitor scooter with no love. That's my favorite part. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Oh my gosh. We did it in like a 3-hour span. We did it in like a 3-hour span. I think it was probably 300 to 400. So the problem is like you'll do a whole section and people come and get their scooters between classes and then leave. And then you can do it all over again like an hour later. So it makes it a little difficult sometimes, but it was a lot of fun. And then point number 4, this goes all the way back to what my mom told me when I was a kid. Don't be too big for your britches. All right? Now what I mean by this is that I can't tell you how many businesses you tell me when I get into conversations with them about UCE, customer experience stuff, they're like, oh, I used to do this and I used to do that. And I'm like, well, why did you stop? And the answer is, I'm too busy, there's not enough time. And what they don't realize is that's the stuff that really made them special, right? It was like, I can't tell you how many people like, I used to bake cookies for everybody that I signed as a client, and I would deliver the cookies to them as a thank you. I'm like, okay, so why'd you stop? And they stopped because they got too busy. Now, things like, for example, with us, to this very day, we handwrite thank you notes to every NS4L scooter purchaser. Right? Anytime we sell a scooter, handwritten thank you note. It's just something that we've always done. Now we have amped it up 1 degree by including like a little Polaroid of them. So when we take that picture, we include a little Polaroid and include that. And guys, just real quick, side note, like this is an extra benefit of doing it. This is not why I do it, but this was posted on this young lady's Instagram story. She took a picture of the thank you card and a picture of her Polaroid and tagged us in it. And she posted that on her social media. And it shared that experience with all of her friends. I mean, that's a great little extra benefit. It's not why we did it, but still, it's pretty awesome. But that's something that we still do to this very day. And then in terms of not being too big for your britches, don't like, when owners try to avoid like the customer, they try not to help, like that stuff drives me nuts. I give this is my business card. I think you guys have one of these in the bag too. This is my business card, okay? I give this to every single customer that buys a scooter from us. So when they buy a scooter, I go out there, we do the picture, and I hand them this business card. They instantly recognize it. This is a Snapchat code. So if you use Snapchat, it's a Snapchat code. They scan it, and then they have instant access to me, right? They can message me, say, hey, Collin, when's the next service on my scooter? Or, hey, my scooter's making this funny sound. They'll take a 10, 20-second snap of the sound the scooter's making, and they'll send it to me. Is this normal? Should I be concerned about this? And I'll reply when I can reply. Obviously, I try to get back as soon as I possibly can, but if I can't, like I still get back to them. I still respond to every single customer that reaches out to me. And I think it's just important to remain accessible as you grow. And this next thing would have been really funny if we had sound, so I apologize. But if all else fails, like this Panda thing on your iPhone, well, the iPhone X now is really awesome. And this was like a funny 10-second thing, but it's not going to work. So it's a huge fail. So learn from failures. It's another entrepreneurial lesson. But that's me. Actually, I'll try to replicate this for you. Ready? Oh my gosh! It sucks that it's raining outside, but today is the perfect day to buy a scooter. I really was not even close. But that's what it says. And guys, please, talk to me online. I'll put my contact info up here. We do a vlog. I share a lot of this kind of stuff all the time. I talk about core values, the ultimate customer experience. That's kind of become our thing, is the UCE, that ultimate customer experience, the WHOADAMN, the WTFs. Like, that's what I do, and I talk about it a lot on our vlog. If you go to NS4L.TV in your browser, it's a great way to connect with us and see more of that content. And that's it. Any questions? I'd love to talk questions. Yes?
What were you planning to do before you kept waiting for the bus and decided to become?
Man, I was a lost college student. It was January when I went to the career showcase. And I started the company in March, 2 months later. I just knew that I wasn't ever going to work for anybody. And I just knew it. Like, just me in a suit don't even go together. So I knew that it was just not in my blood, and that, and I started reflecting back, and I always just had entrepreneurial tendencies growing up. I would sell, my parents would do garage sales, and I'd be the guy like right in the middle of the, driveway with coffee, with donuts, with, that kind of stuff. So I think it's just always been in my blood. But I just was like, I'm never going to wear a suit every single day. It's just not me.
Marvelous that bus was slow.
What's that?
Marvelous that bus was so slow.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily slow. It was just full. Yeah, it came by and it was full. And then I remember I would if I got on the bus, it would be like one of the last standing room only. So I'd be up there, and there'd usually be like a really cute chick right here. And I'd have to hold the rail, and after standing outside in the Florida heat for 15 minutes, you have a little sweat right here. And I'd be like, oh man, this is terrible. So, and then not only that, but the University of Florida, I remember when I got to 60 credits, which is what you needed to have to park on the commuter lot on campus. Well, as soon as I went in to get a commuter lot pass, they bumped it up to 90. Then as soon as I got to 90, they bumped it up to 120. So now you had to be a graduate student to park at the commuter lot on campus. And everybody knows that doesn't even guarantee you a spot. You drive around in circles for hours trying to find a spot. And so I recognized that. I recognized students struggling to get on the bus. I recognized a university that kept building buildings on the only land that they have, which is parking lots. And I was like, we need to fix this problem. And so I just took it upon myself to fix it. So yes?
I want to know how you would apply this to a semi and heavy equipment repair business. Now, we do letters. We always send letters to everybody because we meet people anywhere in the United States. They travel 301 and they break down, we meet them. But we always do letters, whether it's once a year, it's a continued business, thank you, for your continued business, or if you're new, you broke down and, sorry we met under the circumstances, and they're hand-signed, they're not handwritten, but they're hand-signed, and they're very casual, laid-back letters, like, hey, Bob, it was great to see you, you know what I mean? It's not, dear Mr. So-and-so, you know what I'm saying? But, how do you apply the rest of what you're saying? What
to an industry like that?
Yes. You're dealing with truck drivers.
I would start, believe it or not, I would start with your team. How many people do you have that work for you guys?
Oh, what do we got? 8, 6, 8? Yeah.
We started doing these things, we called them culture meetings, and they were voluntary meetings. We didn't force anybody to come, but really the team started investing, like they wanted to see the customer's experience. It's very simple, right? If the customer's experience grows and we have more customers, we make more money, they get paid more. It's just a constant, circle, right? So they would invest their time, they would come in, we'd have a meeting, once a month, and we'd say, okay guys, what can we do to make the customer experience better? And honestly, like one of the balloons came from one of them. They're like, what we should do? We should get a helium tank. I don't think they're that much. I think $300, $400 to like have a helium tank, fill it up. And then anytime we sell a scooter, let's tie a balloon to it and we'll, put it in that seat bucket.
Yeah, but I'm not selling a scooter.
I understand that, but what my point being, like, you'd be surprised if you start asking your team, is my point. Like, ask them, because I don't know anything about your business, so I could brainstorm with you all day long and we could come up with some great ideas, but I think you're gonna get better ideas by asking your team.
And ask truck drivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ride on the highway or something, or what, I don't know. Maybe you get them one of those nice pillows or something, a napkin or something, I don't know.
Yeah, stuff like that surprises people is great. Anything that would make their life more comfortable on the road. I could brainstorm, like I said, all day long, but definitely ask your team. It'll surprise you. Yes.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Simply take your phone, call the customer, say thank you, save this number if I can ever help you again.
We make calls, we make follow-up calls also. And we have, we really go by word of mouth is a lot of our business. We have a guy that travels 2 hours to come to us to do oil changes and repairs. And that came word of mouth, so.
Simple thank yous go a long
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm guessing before your business boomed, there wasn't as much space on campus for scooters to park.
Correct.
So were you the influence
Part of that process?
in that, or was it just students are like, hey, we really need a place to park, guys?
Luckily for us, I didn't have to really get too much into the politics with like UF campus to get things changed. It just naturally evolved. What happened, there would be like hashed, at the end of parking spaces where they just have the hashed areas. That's what was there 14 years ago. And there would be a sign in the middle that stood up and said scooter and motorcycle parking. And there usually would be like 2 or 3 vehicles in there, right? As we sold more and more scooters, these blocks started becoming jammed with scooters. If your scooter was in the middle of that block, you were screwed. Like you were not getting it out. You would have to move 15 scooters and motorcycles to try to get to your scooter in the middle. And finally, they were just like, we have to do something about this. People's property is getting damaged. And, so they actually started making the little scooter slots. Now, I think it's even cooler that it's now gone outside of the university. When I see the new Publix have a line of scooter parking, that just pumps me up. So, yes?
So I'm just curious, I've had a scooter myself twice. What's your product? What do you sell?
We sell several different products. The line makes, we have Vespa, which is probably the most well-known, but we sell a Genuine. We sell a company called Gen Z, which is 100% electric. We have Adley, we have Bentelli, we have Wolf. So there's several different brands that we represent. But we have a full showroom. We stock about 50 scooters inside of the showroom, probably another 20 outside, and then usually another 100 to 300, depending on season, in our warehouse right out back. We're right on 13th Street. So if you guys go down 13th, you see a big scooter on top of the sign, that's us. Yes?
So you were so great, of course, with your customers, but I also know you were really great with your employees. Can you just speak to that, some of the things you do to incentivize your employees? And I've watched on your social media, so I know some of the great things you do. But can you share a little bit more about how you keep your team motivated?
By giving a damn. I mean, it's amazing that it's as simple as that. Like, I really, really care, and I really, really genuinely love each and every one of them. And I know that if they come to work loving what they do and loving the people that they're with, that I don't have anything to worry about. Like, they're gonna take care of my customers. They're gonna take care of anybody that walks through that door. And so it's just about caring. I mean, it's really, really that simple. I think so many people try to, overcomplicate it, but it is that simple. And I mean, our secret, I know friends at Student Made, I mean, core values are the key. We have 12 core values. Core value number 1 is to create the ultimate customer experience. Core value number 12 is if you're late to work, you better bring breakfast. And that one's kind of the joke core value, but it works, right? It works because if you're late to work, I don't want you to think that you're going to get yelled at or get fired, and I certainly don't want to send you home because then the rest of the team is going to have to pick up your slack, and that's just going to frustrate them. So I would rather you get to work safely and then just have to buy breakfast, and the fact that you have to spend $50 on breakfast sucks because you would have made money in that hour. Now you had to spend it. You know what I mean? And when everybody lives up to that core value, you're respected. You're respected by your coworkers. You know what I mean? And so, and that's what it all comes down to. I mean, I could go through all the core values and tell you how they, line up in our organization and how they formulate who we are. But when you hire by core values and you fire by core values, everything works. Yes?
So I know you're the social media expert as far as getting word out there. I know, and a lot of your clientele is very young. So does it work for folks that have a target market of an older generation? And then also, how do you become proficient if you weren't raised in with that language?
So I know I get looked at very often as a social media expert, right? But I just use social media. I don't know if it's natural. I just started learning, right? It's like, okay, I want to do Facebook ads. Google, how do I do Facebook ads? Right? And there's so much content, it tells you how to do it. Now, most people just don't want to take the time and learn it. And that's the difference. Like, I'll take that time and I'll learn it. Now, I could give specifics all day long in terms of demographic. If you have for a student demographic, it makes sense for me to engage with them on Snapchat. Right? I build those relationships. Anytime a customer buys a scooter, they fill out a sheet. If they have an Instagram account, we go and follow them on Instagram. We engage with them on Instagram. So those platforms make a lot of sense because there's a lot of college kids on them. Now, if you have an older demographic and you're trying to get your brand in front of these older demographics, I would say Facebook is by far the best tool you could use. I mean, you can target specific individuals, 45, for example, the Gen Z ad that I have for this 100% electric scooter, It's 100% electric, and it's a scooter. And I'm targeting. I know that it's not for a college kid, so I'm targeting 45 plus, and I'm actually targeting people who have interest in electric vehicles, and it's getting shared like crazy. You know, and you can do that. You can target a specific income. I can target people who are just graduating this year. There's so many things that Facebook can do. They know everything, guys. Like, they know everything. I'm just letting you know, they know everything. Now, my problem with social media is that too many people focus on promoting their brand. Like, promote. Like, I have this sale going on. I got to get this product sold. Like, the reason social media works so well for us is because I don't promote. I mean, when you look at our entire, everything that we do on social media, we spend I don't want to lie. Yes, we promote, but it's not the main purpose. It's not why we're using social media all the time. I use it to engage. I'm building relationships. When you start focusing on using social media to build relationships with your customers, that's when it changes, okay? Because that leads to the ultimate advertisement, which is word of mouth, right? They're gonna tell their friends, hey, you should go to New Scooters for Less because if you have a problem, you can snap at the owner and he'll help you. That's where the sale comes from. I could talk social media all day too. I love it so much. Any other questions?
Do scooters still get about 100 miles to the tank?
Yes, they do. They are extremely fuel efficient. And now as they start to go electric, they're even more efficient.
How much do they weigh?
I'm sorry? So the electric one is, it's $3,000 and you're gonna get about 30 miles to a charge. So great for in-town commuting, you know, no gas, you plug it right up to any wall. They have 3-year warranties. I mean, they're great scooters. It even has the dash is it's an Android operating system. So you don't need a key, you walk up to it, you punch in the pin, and it tells you, like, it just turns on. If somebody moves one of the scooters at the dealership right now, it sends me an email saying, hey, your scooter's been moved. So it has all the GPS tracking. There's a lot of crazy technology. It has an app. So if somebody stole it, you just open the app and you know where your scooter is. I've heard stories of people just going up and knocking on somebody's door and being like, yo, dude, I need my scooter back. and freaking out thieves and stuff. But yes, their scooters are extremely fuel efficient and extremely, everything's starting to head that electric generation. So we're definitely trying to stay on top of that as well. Yes?
Do you use scooters or just new?
No, we definitely do use scooters as well. Everything obviously started off as new, but as we sold more and more scooters, you know, we have a lot of college kids that are about to graduate. They'll bring them back to us, and we'll buy them back. If we're not at a position where we can buy it back for some reason, or we have too many of that particular scooter in inventory, we actually created a website called buymyscooter.com. which is a website where college kids or anybody really can go and post their scooter for sale and sell it to somebody else. So, yes.
You got a rental program?
Yes, we do rent them. What's funny about rentals is that it's kind of turned into this convenience thing for customers. So I use it to alleviate the stress from my service department. So when people come in, they're like, man, I really need my scooter, like I need it now. You know, and we're on a week wait because we're just backed up, I'll be like, hey, look, like just take a rental and let us fix your scooter. So we probably give a lot of free ones away, more than we should. But yeah, yeah, we do rent them. Yes?
How are you able to offer new scooters for less?
How am I able to offer new scooters for less? So the problem with that question is that the assumption is that we're the cheapest price. Like a lot of people think when you hear something for less, that it's like the least expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm super competitive when it comes to pricing, but what I do is I provide more value in my price. Okay, and that's why we win. So we're the best value that you're gonna get at, if it's a $9.99 scooter, like that's gonna be the best value that you can get at $9.99 in terms of quality of unit and the value that you get from us. I do a lot of things that put a ton of value in this brand, right? For example, when you buy a scooter from New Scooters for Less, you get free pickups and free deliveries for the life of the scooter on service. So if you were to run over a nail and get a flat tire, you just call me. We pick it up, no charge. Okay? If we had to send your scooter into the service department in order to get a warranty issue taken care of, we provide you with a rental, no charge. That's additional value. We have a discounted labor rate. When you buy a scooter from New Scooters for Less, you get the labor rate of $80 an hour versus $100 an hour. So you already get that those savings. That's stuff that we just include in our name. And it's crazy, guys, because yes, I get people who will be shopping for a scooter down in Tampa. They'll be like, yeah, you know, this model down here is $9.99. I see that you're selling it for $10.99. Like, will you sell it to me for $9.99? And I'll say, well, if we're comparing apples to apples, maybe, but I'll share that additional value. I'll say, you're gonna get this thing, like your daughter is gonna be riding that scooter up here, right? She's gonna have contact to me via platforms like Snapchat. If she breaks down and you have a warranty issue, you're gonna have to take that scooter back down to Tampa, have it serviced there, where I'm just gonna come out and pick it up for free, bring it to my dealership, fix it, give her a rental to use while I'm fixing it. And once I spill that value, you don't think that's worth $100 over 4 years of college? It's well worth it. So I hardly ever have to bring down my price in order to get the business. Yes?
How do you deal with the safety issue? My husband used to use motorcycles 25 years ago. He was one of those that used those, but he did the motorcycle class. And so my concern when I see all the scooters is that a lot of those kids are not wearing helmets and they haven't had that kind of, I'm assuming, that kind of training on safety and how to be more of a offensive driver on two wheels.
We're the leaders of the scooter industry here in Gainesville. We just have to lead, right? So the things that we do is we do have a whole check sheet of things that we go through in terms of safety, one-on-one. Each customer gets a one-on-one training with us. So we do that. We do encourage helmets. Like the problem with helmets is that I can't make the kid take it out of the scooter seat and put it on their head. And that's the hardest thing. So what I do, I mean, we gave $30,000 of helmets away last year. You buy a scooter, helmets included. We did that during our busy season, and it took a lot of money off of our top line. But we did that because it's the right thing to do. We need to get more kids wearing helmets. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that can be done until it's enforced, right? Like, you'll wear a helmet if somebody writes you a $150 ticket. So that's kind of the direction that we're going. Keith Perry's actually working on that, and he's actually contacted us. So that's something that we're trying to work on together. But that's ultimately what needs to happen. In the meantime, we make an effort to reward those that are wearing helmets, right? And hope that other people see that. So we have a really good relationship with the University Police Department. We just give them helmets, we give them shirts. So if they find somebody who is wearing their helmet, they'll go, hey, thank you so much for wearing your helmet. Like, here's a free shirt. And if somebody gets into a little mini fender bender and it scares them just enough, they pull out that helmet and they say, hey, now will you wear this helmet? And we just give that to them, trying to make that, yes?
So I know Kristen and you are pretty close friends, and I've had the opportunity to shadow Collin doing an interview for a new team member of his company. The question about how do you engage your employees, the answer is very simple. Like Collin said, it's caring about them, but very genuine. It's very apparent when you walk into New Scooters for Less, the culture that's there, and I think it's just, you can tell obviously how passionate Collin is about his industry and what he does. It's not a job for him. So, something that we teach at Student as well is taking care of your people. And I think if you take care of your people will take care of you too. So thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes?
I was just going to say, you're giving away all
We're out of time? We're good? We're out of time?
If you can stay around and answer.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Like we'll go all day. Everybody stay.
I'm a motorcyclist also. Giving away all these helmets is an awesome thing. My suggestion, model it. Promote the kids who are wearing helmets. I lived here 30 years ago. I've been back for about a year. It takes my breath away driving on some of the bigger streets. And kids will come out of some of these apartment complexes and come across 6 lanes and make a left into the far right lane so they can make a right. It just is astonishing. I don't know how many kids, if any, have died, but it's scary.
I agree with you, but everybody, I mean, if you're not 20 years old all of us remember what it's like being 20 years old. You just think that you're invincible, ain't nothing gonna happen, it ain't ever gonna happen to me. So you're absolutely right, and that's why it's our responsibility to preach that message. You know, when when people are in the showroom, we're just encouraging them to wear those helmets. We're constantly giving them away. We're trying to do everything that we can in order to make that happen. And
Use the images of people with helmets.
yeah, absolutely. Like advertisements, everything that we do, we'll have people wearing helmets. Yes.
Would you say that the scooters themselves, like people are proud, so when they're around the campus, I've got a 4 for Less scooter. What do you have? That kind of thing. So you get to brand that. What if you branded it as the helmet? What if the helmet became, you put your branding on it, kind of make it cool, like you're saying, your office is cool, so the helmet.
Absolutely. No, that's something that we're working on constantly. Even trying to get we need to get the influencers to really do it. So if we can get the football players constantly doing it, we can get all of the athletes wearing them, it'll help a lot. And so that's where our focus is really just trying to make it cool, because I mean, when it comes to football players, it's like, you guys are wearing them all the time anyway. You can wear a helmet for practice. Like, wear your football helmet on the scooter. I don't care.
If you guys want to stick around and ask him some questions, you guys are more than welcome to. We just have to let you guys know, anybody who needs to go can go. Next month, March 21st, third Wednesday, next meeting, it's going to be networking, open networking. And we're going to have Jamie help facilitate and try to work on a networking plan for the whole year. So if you'd like to come, find out about that, work on your networking plan for the
This is my contact info.
come chat with Collin. Thank you all for
So thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. We haven't had a crowd this big.
Thank you.